Hey, I want to speak to your women who married foolish men. And you know you married a foolish man. Now, what do you do with it now? I just want to encourage you to be wise because that brother, with all his money, is still foolish. You need to be wise, just as wise as Abigail was. And I'm going to take you to 1 Samuel chapter 25. And I won't read the whole chapter, I will read some verses so you will understand this type of foolish man that I'm talking about. And all you also need to start to teach the young girls to marry right. And when I say to marry right, I mean not to marry because of money or not because of how people look. To marry because of the relationship with God. If that man does not love God more than he loves you, there is a problem. So let's read 1 Samuel chapter 25. Then Samuel died, and the Israelites gathered together and lamented for him and buried him at his home in Ramah. And David arose and went to the wilderness of Paran. Verse 2. Now there was a man in Maon whose business was in Carmel. He was a businessman, this foolish man. And the man was very rich. He had 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats. And he was sharing his sheep in Carmel. The name of the man was Nabal, and the name of his wife Abigail. And she was a woman of good understanding and beautiful appearance. That's why I think King David went for and good appearance. But the man was harsh and evil in his doing. He was of the house of Caleb. When David heard in the wilderness that Nabal was shearing his sheep, David sent 10 young men. And David said to the young men, "Go up to Carmel, go to Nabal and greet him in my name, and thus you shall say to him who lives in prosperity, peace be to you, peace be to your house, and peace to all that you have. Now I have heard that you have shearers. Your shepherds were with us, and we did not hurt them, nor was there anything missing from them all the while they were in Carmel. Ask your young men, and they will tell you. Therefore, let my young men find favor in your eyes, for we come on a feast day. Please give whatever comes to your hand to your servants and to your son David." And David is just being nice, asking nicely, we need help. So when David's young men came, they spoke to Nabal according to all these words in the name of David and waited. Then Nabal answered David's servants and said, "Who is David? And who is David, and who is the son of Jesse? There are many servants nowadays who break away each one from his master. Shall I then take my bread and my water and meat that I have killed from my shearers and give it to men when I do not know where they are from?" Verse 12. So David's young men turned their heels and went back, and they came and told him all these words. Then David said to his men, "Every man gird on his sword." So every man girded on his sword, and David also girded on his sword. And about 400 men went with David, and 200 stayed with the supplies. Now watch this. Verse 14. Now one of the young men told Abigail, Nabal's wife, saying, "Look, David sent messengers from the wilderness to greet our master, and he reviled them. But the men were very good to us and were not hurt, nor did we miss anything as long as we accompanied them. When we were in the fields, they were a wall to us both by night and day. All the time we were with them, keeping the sheep. Now therefore Know and consider what you will do, for harm is determined against our master and against all his household, for he is such a scoundrel. This is his servant speaking, that one cannot speak to him. And Abigail made haste and took 200 loaves of bread, 2 skins of wine, 5 sheep already dressed, 5 seahs of roasted grain, 100 clusters of raisins, and 200 cakes of figs, and loaded them on donkeys. And she said to her servants, "Go on before me. See, I am coming after you." But she did not tell her husband Nabal. You see how wise this woman is. Verse 20. So it was, as she rode on the donkey, that she went down under cover of the hill, and there were David and his men coming down towards her, and she met them. Now David said, "Surely in vain I have protected all that this fellow has in the wilderness, so that nothing was missed of all that belongs to him. And he has repaid me evil for good. May God do so, and more also to the enemies of David, if I leave one male of all who belong to him by morning light." Now Abigail saw David. She dismounted quickly from the donkey, fell on her face before David, and bowed down to the ground. So she fell at his feet and said, "On me, my lord, on me let this iniquity be. And please let your maidservant speak in your ears, and hear the words of your maidservant. Please let not my lord regard this scoundrel Nabal, for his name is so. For his name is, so is he. Nabal is his name, and folly is within him. But I, your maidservant, did not see the young man of my lord whom you sent. Now therefore, my lord, as the Lord lives, and your soul lives, since the Lord has held you back from coming to bloodshed and from avenging yourself with your own hand, now then let your enemies and those who seek harm for my lord be as Nabal, just foolish." Foolish men, you need to be the warrior in the house, to be wise, just as Abigail has been. You see how she has saved the entire clan because of the foolishness of her husband. So be wise and teach girls to be wise. When they are marrying, let them marry godly men, those who fear the Lord, the men with the fear of God in them, not some foolish men like Nabal. Stay blessed. Be blessed. Shalom.